there, it's Julie Broad with Revenue.com, and I am coming at you with a video from week 5 of adding a legal suite to a rental property. So if this is the first video you're watching, there's a whole bunch of goodness just waiting for you at Revenue.com to check out. So this week, what are we talking about? We're talking about how to budget for a project of this size. So this project is about $75,000 total. That's not how much just for the suite, because we're doing work upstairs and we replaced the roof, but that's how much our project budget is. How did I come up with that number? Well, I'm really glad you asked. Basically, I'm going to give you some tips on this, but I want to put up the disclaimer that I am so not a budgeting expert. I'm getting good. In the last 2 or 3 years, we've done 5 or 6 pretty major renovation projects, and I am now pretty good at doing it on budget and on time. But there's always surprises. So I'll tell you how I approach it. I also recommend you pick up this book, From Renos to Riches by Ian Szabo. And this book has helped me tremendously in my budgeting and just planning and understanding renovations and how to approach them. So highly recommend you pick up that book. But for me, first of all, I take a look at major systems: furnace, roof, windows, electrical, plumbing. Ideally, you don't have to do those. But if you do, get 3 quotes so that you know what to budget for. In this case, we had to replace the roof, and we got 3 quotes and went with the one that was cheapest, but was also somebody we had worked with several times in the past and we're happy with. Once you've got that, do a walk around the exterior, figure out what you need to do. Do you need to clean the vinyl siding, landscaping? Are there fence posts that are rotten? Budget out those things. Then go inside. And what I like to do is walk room by room. And I note, each room I note the square footage of the room, and I note what I'm gonna do. So do I need to paint? Am I painting everything? Flooring, if it's a bathroom, do I need to replace the vanity? What size? Or the toilet? I even note light fixtures and mirrors, and just make an itemized list of what you're gonna do. When you get back to the office, for me, the smaller items I now estimate because I've got a good sense of how much I can buy them for, having done this many times. First time around, head on over to the Home Depot website and type it in and find an item that seems like a reasonable price for what you're looking for. Your goal, though, is to not pay that price. You want to buy it on sale, because that will save you a whole bunch of money in your project if you're buying these things on sale. But you need something for your budget, so just go through there and put that item and put the price down to get you a budget. For things like flooring, paint, drywall, I budget on a per square foot basis. So for example, if I'm putting laminate flooring down, I want to factor in the install cost. So I'm going to put $3 per square foot. And you know, my goal is to have it be cheaper than that, but usually the price I pay for the laminate plus my carpenter's time, it costs me about $3 per square foot. Now, some things you might want to talk to people about is, you know, are they able to keep the current baseboards when they replace the flooring? If they're going to have to replace the baseboards, you're going to have additional costs. So you want to ask some questions and really learn as you go if it's your first time. But, you know, those are some of the numbers I use. Painting. If I'm painting everything, it's about $2.50 a square foot. And by everything, I mean trim, doors, ceilings, and walls. If I'm not doing all of that stuff, ceilings and walls only, it might be 75 cents less a square foot. But just ask your painter. Ask, you know, on a per square foot basis, just for my budget, what can I expect? Ask your electrician, ask your plumber, ask everybody what you can expect roughly. Now, I do have to warn you, with electricians and plumbers, or even some of the other trades like drywall, until you have a permit approved, some of them will be reluctant to give you any kind of quote because they don't fully understand what the city is going to require of you to get that legal suite permit. So you may have to wait, but I still pushed them and said, okay, you know, assuming it is by this plan that we had drawn up, am I looking at 7,000 or 10,000? Am I looking at 5,000 or 7,500? And got a rough range so I could at least put some numbers in my budget. It's a little tricky, especially if you're pulling down walls, because until you're behind that wall, they really can't give you a firm number as to what you're looking at. But you got to put something in your budget. Okay, a couple other tips for you. First of all, no matter what, add a contingency. And also remember to include carrying costs while your property is vacant. So what it's going to cost you in property tax, mortgage, insurance, that kind of stuff, heat, hydro, carrying costs. So if you think this project's going to take you 2 months, then I would probably suggest you give yourself 4 months of carrying costs, because maybe it takes 2.5 and you don't get tenants immediately. So it could be 4 months of carrying costs before you've got tenants. So just that's how we do it typically. And then cleaning and junk removal. I don't know if you can see this. Let me switch over here. Cleaning and junk removal. We seem to have a problem remembering to include junk removal, so it's a good thing we always have a contingency. But junk removal is also an area where you can save some money by finding out if you separate wood from drywall, or if you have everything mixed, can you save money? For us, if we do a bin full of wood versus a mixed bin, it's way cheaper. So ask your junk removal or your bin companies if there's ways to save money on that, because it actually, on a major renovation, junk removal is very expensive. It's several $1,000s, and it can catch you by surprise if you've forgotten about it. Also cleaning. Especially if you have drywall going on, you're going to want to have the house fully cleaned, including carpets if you have any carpets that aren't brand new in the property. So you want to budget for that, because carpet cleaning plus full house cleaning can, end up adding $500, $600, $700 to your budget, which can also hurt if you haven't planned for it. Whew. So lots to talk about when it comes to budgeting for your properties. Hope this helps you a little bit as you tackle it and put your spreadsheets together. And we'll see you next week with a brand new update of what's going on in our Legal Suite project. See you then.